guys, Mishka here. Alright, with the new DPS patch being out and me having enough time to kind of go through testing, I decided to go ahead and remake my DPS class video guides. So we're going to start off today with Ranger, my personal favorite DPS class. So we're going to go through the abilities, the talents, all the fun stuff, and then we'll go into affixes on the armor and weapons, potions that you're going to want to use, all that jazz. So let's go ahead and start off with the arrows that you get. The arrows that a ranger gets, you've got poison, which deals poison over time. It ticks 8 times. You've got piercing, which I believe does like 300% damage, 250%. I'll check my spreadsheets and I'll post in the description all the actual details. You got fire rain arrow, which does an AoE. And then you've got smoke arrow and spread arrow, which I believe I've deleted because they are worthless. Yeah, I don't see them. But really, the 3 arrows that I use, and keep in mind, this isn't like a meta video. This is how Mishka plays it and is successful. The 3 arrows I use, poison, piercing, and fire rain. And that's all I use. You've also got your ranger trap, which sits on your right shoulder here. This thing will interrupt enemies, and if they're not an elite, it'll stick them in place for like 40 seconds or until they take damage. So, woohoo, interrupt. So that's the gear that you get. Let's talk about talents. There are really 2 ways to play Ranger. You can do precision or rapidity. Both are viable nowadays. I play precision, my buddy Shuga plays rapidity, and we are both very successful. So rapidity, you see this blue bar, you want to release it when it gets to about 80 or 90%. If you've got controller vibration on, you can actually feel it tick. Here we go. Tick, 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 tick. I can actually feel it vibrate, letting me know that's when to release. Rapidity, you're just going to shoot basically as fast as you can. You want like 3 arrows a second to do the most damage. Tier 2, improved charge. Your charge shot now applies a slow in addition to your hunter's mark. Hunter's mark means the enemy takes like 5% extra damage from all sources. Or rapid charge. Your charge shot now charges in 1 second instead of 2 seconds. I suggest going with rapid charge. You don't really need to give enemies a slow. If you're soloing things, you should be killing them before they get to you anyway. Plus you've got your trap. If you're in a group, you've got mages and scoundrels and warriors if need be to give slows, and your focus is on damage, and rapid charge gives you more damage. Arrow sight, trail of your arrows lasts much longer than usual, and shots from greater than 30 meters gain a damage boost. That's approximately 10% extra damage right there. That's nice. I go with that. Multi-shot, I haven't really found to give me any significant benefit. Globemaster, gain a 6th globe, which you can fill, and you can generate up to 3 globes at once when firing at long distances, versus overcharge. When you do a charge shot, gain additional damage for each currently filled globe, using up the globes in the process. Now, originally, I was kind of, I don't know which one. When you've got the globes, these things here, when you shoot from more than 15 meters away, you fill them up. Each globe gives 10% extra damage. I think it's like 9.8% or something like that, but we say 10%. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60% extra damage. If you're 30 meters away, which I'm not sure I can do in this room. Yeah, there we go. That's another 10%. So that's another 70% extra damage that I'm doing just for being far away and keeping those globes filled up. Now I did test, I'm going to move this. I did test with overcharge and I found that I did about 10k DPS less damage. So I suggest Globemaster. Critical aim versus Needler. Critical spots become larger, and hitting a crit spot from greater than 30 meters gains a damage boost. If you're doing precision and you're a 30-meter ranger, I suggest doing this. If you're rapidity, go with Needler. If you're rapidity doesn't really matter which one of these 2 you choose, because a charged arrow lowers your DPS. Multi-shot, Globemaster, and Needler. I'm trying to think. 15-meter versus 30-meter ranger. So, like I said, if you're at, here we go, over 15 meters, you can start filling up those globes. And each globe is 10% extra damage. That is huge. You want to maintain at least 15 meters away, because that's a significant portion of your damage. Like I said, that's 60% extra damage right here. If you're any closer than that, you're going to see that my damage starts going down. If we ignore those crits. Stop critting. There we go. So that's like, what, 20k a shot. Whereas if I come back over here, and I fill those globes up, where'd my hand go? right? I'm doing 27, 29k, 30k a shot, right? That's another 10% or 10k DPS just for getting further away. All right, so the arrows. Why do I use poison, piercing, and fire rain? I typically stick with poison and piercing unless there's a group of 3 or more, in which case I go fire rain. If there's a group of 3 or more, I will charge a fire rain arrow because it does a lot of damage to a lot of people. If there's less than 3 people, I stick with poison and piercing, and I just prioritize my targets, which will be a video coming up later today, target priority. So poison piercing does the most damage. I charge piercing. Charge poison will do more damage than a charged piercing arrow. However, charging a piercing and using poison does more damage than charging a poison and using piercing. It's a lot of information. I'm going to link down below my spreadsheet with all the data I've gathered with Ranger. So that's talents. That's equipment. Let's go over armor and weapon affixes. On all of my armor, I've got projectile damage and crit chance, projectile damage, crit chance, projectile damage, crit chance, and projectile damage, crit chance. Why do I use those? Because we're shooting projectiles. So projectile damage, that's another 4% damage just for having it. Regarding crit chance, I'm still up in the air about whether I want crit chance or supercharge. Crit chance is nice because, you know, more crits is more damage. However, the Ranger Ultimate is excuse me. The Ranger Ultimate is amazing. That little gold bar right there. Once you fill it up and you use it by pulling both triggers for about 10 seconds, I don't know, I haven't actually timed it. For a short period of time, your arrows do 80% extra damage. That is huge. That is a significant increase. Whenever I'm parsing and I'm shooting and I use my ult, you see my damage go, zoom, and I'm in like the 200k range. It's absolutely ridiculous. I regularly pull aggro with the Ranger ult. It's amazing. So I'm considering switching to from crit chance to supercharge rate, but I haven't quite decided on that. So, you know, like I said, I'm not telling you the meta, I'm telling you what I do. I use a Bracer of Wisdom. I try to keep it at level 3 because, like I said, that supercharge is amazing. Regarding weapon affixes, I've got Ice Heart Bleed. Bleed is always nice to have whenever you're doing high damage amounts, and Ranger is very much a spike damage class. I've got Ice Heart because I'm almost always running with somebody who's putting a slow on the enemy. Whether that's a mage that does frost, or a scoundrel that uses a frost card, or if we have a warrior and we don't have any of the others, I'll ask them to throw a hamstring every once in a while. And that's just a flat 5% extra damage. I will briefly show you the tiles that I use. If I knew what they were, I would tell you. But as is, I've got a great friend, Blueducky, who is an amazing artificer. She watches people when they've got the Runesight potion, and then she gives custom tile sets. It's great. Actually, I think it's that one. One of these is custom made for charged fire rain arrow, and it's amazing because I do a charged fire rain, I shoot it, it hits, and then all of a sudden I'm doing stupid amount of damage and all my tiles are proccing. It's great. So that's that. I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. Target priority we'll go over later. With rings, I use the 2 meta rings. You get the Scavenged ring from the Scav World boss in Holtein's Basin, and the Bark ring from Treesus, and you fuse them together, and you've got Empowered and Elite Hunter. Elite Hunter gives you more damage on elites, and Empowered gives you, I think, more crit chance? Question mark? Something like that. So yeah, regarding what potions you should use, let's see, Vitality, not really necessary, unless you want to stay alive better. I don't know, I haven't really decided how much I like Vitality. Strength is great because that determines the damage of your normal arrows. Normal arrows rely on strength. Yeah, because it's physical damage. Here's a fun one though. Your piercing arrow is magic damage. So taking aged enhanced intel, definitely worth it. That's an 8% buff to all your magic damage. Piercing, poison, and fire rain arrows are all magical. So that's another 8% on top of what you're already doing. Like I said, strength determines normal arrows. That's an 8% right there. And aged empowered strikes potion will give you more crits, which is always nice. So I think that's pretty much it. Rangers are definitely a fun class. This is, like I said, my main when it comes to DPS. I have hit over 100k. I know at least one other person has confirmed hitting over 100k on Ranger Sustained. So it's definitely a viable class. You can hit top tier DPS, and it's just a ton of fun. Just a couple things to watch out for. If you're doing high level shards and it's virus, or if it's reflective strikes. If you're a 30-meter ranger, you know, you're way back here. You're shooting these guys from afar, right? Let's get that 30 meters. There we go. We're shooting from back here. If I get poisoned, right? The tank's up there. The healer's up there. Most of the other DPS is up there. Am I going to get healed? Likely not. So if it's reflective strikes, switch away from the reflective one. Go shoot the other guy. If you get virus or if you're starting to feel low, jump forward. It's not worth sacrificing 100% of your DPS and dying when you can sacrifice 70% of your DPS, keep doing damage, jump up, get heals, jump back, get your range again, and then keep doing more damage. Don't think that you have to keep range at all costs. Your goal is to stay alive and keep dealing damage. So I think that's pretty much all I've got to say about Ranger for now. I'm still doing a little bit of testing. Like I said, I'll link my spreadsheet in the description below. And as always, if you have any suggestions, comments, questions, concerns, or anything like that, just let me know in the comments. I'm always checking my comments. Sorry, my index cord got tangled. I'm always checking the comment section several times a day just to help out where I can. So that's pretty much it. Good luck. Happy hunting.